Greetings and salutations. This is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello, and you said your intro wrong.
Did I?
Yep.
What did I say?
You didn't do word for word. You did some extra stuff, and you cut off a little bit of old ones that you used to use.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't
Greetings and
say that.
salutations. This is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
There you go.
That's what I said, isn't it?
No, it's not.
What did I say?
They said something about this is, and then you said and that is, and they said and this is my trusty sidekick. Oh, alright.
Right, so can we start the video now? Right, today we're going to be doing the Gatling gun, which is from Warlord Games. Actually, it's from Empress Miniatures, but we got it in the box set, the army box set. It's the army box set for the Zulu War. If you go onto Warlord's site, it is under the army box set section. There's a section for it. I know some people were asking because they went, when we did our unboxing video, people were saying they couldn't find it on their site. I have given a link on our last video to the actual site with the figures on, so if you just check that out, you'll be able to find it. But that's just a side point. This is the Gatling gun. I'll just give you a quick run round of it. It's here. It's a nice little gun, and it just perfectly fits on this base, so it's quite good. Although the figures are lead, and it was quite a bit of effort to cut the feet off. It's not that easy cutting lead figures.
Oh yeah,
base.
slide.
Yeah, we had a huge amount of trouble with the Gates of Antarius figures because most of them are lead, and they're quite hard. They're quite tiny feet. But I did manage it, and this is the machine gun. That's it. The Gatling gun in black powder. Black powder is mainly for the sort of the Asian musket and pike. So it has some special rules. The main special rule is when it fires, you hit as normal, but you can keep rolling, and if you keep hitting, you keep hitting. So technically you can mow down an entire regiment with one shot, basically. As long as you keep rolling a 3+, or 4+, is it marksman? It's marksman, this one's marksman. So as long as you keep rolling a 3+, you keep hitting the target. That can do some serious damage to enemy units.
Indeed, you can.
Yeah. So are you going to play Zulus or British?
I was going to play British, but yes, I would like to play British, but for a change, because I played Texans first last time, you'll play British because they're defending, and I'll play Zulus.
Okay. That's just a side note. The Gatling gun was introduced to the British Army actually pretty early on. I mean, pretty much when it was invented, it was issued to troops, and it did come in very useful. It was usually used as a point defence weapon. So if you'd form a square, you'd put a Gatling gun on each corner. Basically, that's how it worked. It could also be used in defence to cover an area where you can't put many troops. So anywhere with rugged ground or a wadi or anything, you could put the Gatling gun in that position and it would keep the enemy's heads down. And they did see quite a bit of use in the Zulu War, although they did have a problem with ammunition because they tended to run out of ammunition quite quickly.
Yeah,
which is
a lot of them.
Yeah, which is the main reason the Americans never adopted the Gatling gun.
They did invent it. No, they did.
They used Gatling. Yeah.
They used it. The first time they used it was against the Last Samurai. That's the first time they ever used it.
They were Maxims that the American army used. They were actually Maxims.
I think getting mixed up. I feel like we're going to see it before.
The Maxim of this period looks the same. The Maxim is a little bit better than this version. This is a very early version of the machine gun. The bullets fell from the top, so it was a gravity feed, which tended to jam, especially when the gun was quite hot. And when it got so hot that you couldn't touch the barrel or any metal parts, so they had to put a wooden handle on, and the wooden handle used to char. So it's a dangerous weapon to use. But if you've got 1,000 screaming Zulus charging at you, It's really
Worth
useful.
it.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's
worth it to burn your hands off.
Yeah, I burnt my hand. Never mind.
Much worse if you didn't use the gun.
Yeah, if you're here to complain, you're fine. Because if the Zulus get up to you, you're in trouble. That's not actually true. Generally, in close combat, the British would win.
But there's more.
Yeah, it was weight of
A
numbers.
lot more.
It was sheer weight of numbers that.
Which is why the British did a steady retreat when they got closer and closer.
Yeah, well, you try and draw closer to form a more dense defence.
But by then, the Zulus got to them too fast. And
The Zulus got behind them, horns of the buffalo.
went everywhere, didn't they?
Yeah, the Zulus came in behind both sides and surrounded them. But they didn't have the command and control to form a square or anything.
A bit stupid destroying the entire British. It wasn't even an army, I can't say army.
It wasn't army. It was half the army. It was half the army.
So half the army. And if it was full army, do you think the British would have won?
Yeah. If they'd have had the cavalry, yes.
Well, in the full army,
because that was what they were trying to do. They were actually trying to engage the Zulu army. But Chelmsford had gone off with all the cavalry and the soldiers, so the army was split in two, and it was mainly the infantry who overrun. So it was the infantry and not the cavalry with Chelmsford. Had he had the lancers with him, the Zulus probably wouldn't have attacked.
The Zulus don't have any spears, really.
Yeah, they have spears. I'd rather use a Martini Henry rifle than a spear. They had Martini Henry rifles.
They don't use them.
They
shoot them in the air and then
yeah, fire one shot and then charge. A bit silly.
Make noise before you attack.
And they weren't accurate. They weren't trained to fight. Quechua did try to train them.
But they just kept their swords and maces and bats and...
Well, they kept the rifles, but they didn't use them for the whole war. They tended to throw them away because they didn't have the ammunition.
Technically, isn't the butt of a rifle better than your sword?
Yeah, a butt of a rifle is better
knock
than
you
a
right out.
knocker, yeah. The Zulus use a thing called a knocker, which is... pass me one of the Zulus with a knocker.
These guys.
That's it. Right, this is a British Zulu. Or a Zulu on the British side, should I say. Not a British Zulu. But this is a British Zulu and he's got a knocker there, which is a length of wood with a big hardened end. And they use that as a mace. It's basically a battle mace. And it's absolutely useless against a helmet, but very useful against...
You can play the drums.
Yeah, but very useful for hitting men who are just wearing uniforms and no body armour and don't have a shield. So the average British soldier, it would shatter their bone arm.
We should go back in time and give them a hammer. See how that goes.
They didn't have the metal work. They couldn't have made hammers.
I mean, if we went back into town and gave them a hammer.
I just gave them... Well, why not give them machine guns?
They were like, oh my god, God gave us this big lead thing.
Yeah, well, give them machine guns. But they did have steel.
And then they can't
They used to make steel blades. The Assegai...
We'll give Zulus a machine gun, see how that goes.
Yeah.
And we'll give British...
A chieftain tank.
a tiger tank.
Alright, tiger. Yeah, well, chieftain and tiger, they both fire ball bearings. So they have ball bearing grenade launchers on the roofs. So if the Zulus climbed on top of the tank, or British infantry in this case, or Russian infantry, actually more realistic. I don't think the British would actually climb on the top of a German tank. Russians do it all the time.
No, British just go hide in the trees and wait. Be quiet. Wait for it to go away.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
So you would you pull the lever and it fires ball bearings out of the roof and it cuts everyone to pieces. But that's all besides the point. Why was I talking about the knocker in the first place?
Knocker, because I said, isn't the butt of a rifle more powerful than...
the knocker was probably the closest you get to the butt of a rifle, although this Zulu is actually carrying a rifle. He has a Martini Henry slung over his shoulder.
I bet he doesn't know how to use it.
Yes, he does. They were drilled just like British infantry.
Oh, wow.
The Zulus who fought for the British were drilled just like British infantry, but when it came to battle, they tended to form skirmish line and then fight as Zulus. So they would sort of form a skirmish line and fire, but then they would shoulder the rifle or throw the rifle down Actually, probably not throw the rifle down because you got a fine. So they'd shoulder the rifle and then fight with a shield and a spear.
Did it have bayonets?
The Zulus weren't given bayonets.
Maybe the British Army.
The British Army did, yes. But the Zulus warriors didn't use bayonet on their rifle. They weren't issued with bayonets because they carried an assegai.
How long have bayonets been around?
When did... I'm trying to think. The socket bayonet, which was a bayonet that fitted into the end of the rifle, end of the musket, that was actually invented at the same time as the musket. To turn the musket into a short pike. Rifles are actually pikes that go back.
I mean, technically, a spear is a bayonet.
Yeah, a spear is a bayonet that doesn't go back.
Yeah.
A rifle with a bayonet on the end. Although a rifle's more dangerous because it's heavier, and it has a steel cap. It's a steel base butt of the rifle, as you said.
Is that why they have that? Just when you get in close quarters.
Two reasons for that. One, the end of the back end of a rifle is hollow, and it has your cleaning stuff in it for the rifle. Can you get to my rifles? Or they're packed up. They're packed up.
Yeah.
We should do a video showing them actually. My rifles, you take the base off and all the cleaning stuff's inside it. So I'm not sure if the Martina Henry had. I'm trying to think if Holly's got a Martina Henry. I'm not sure if that has the cleaning stuff in it. But anyway,
it does.
It does, right. But it's also got the steel cap because you can use it to hit people. And the very early muskets had a spike on the end as well. There was sort of like a hook spike on the end, so you could have it on your shoulder and fire it, and the hook would go over the top of your shoulder so it wouldn't hurt you when you're firing it. But you could also use it to stab people. That was me, sorry. You could use it to stab people and hit people at the same time, so it was quite useful. If you look at the early muskets, they're quite clearly designed for close combat.
Yeah.
They're obviously designed for close combat. In fact, some of the very early muskets look like close combat weapons rather than muskets.
Now we just have machine guns.
Well, we don't do close
We don't
combat.
have rifles anymore, do we?
Well, yeah, we have the SLRs and standard.
They're not what we use normally.
Yeah, now we still have bayonets. We still fight with bayonets.
I know stuff like bayonets, but we rarely use it anymore.
Very rarely, but it is a great way of getting the enemy to either.
We're supposed to fight the enemy over there.
Yes, but when you're fighting in towns, like the war we're fighting at the moment, well, we recently fought and lost.
No, one.
No,
what do you mean Afghanistan?
No, we hid.
Talk about Afghanistan.
Yeah, we lost because we
We're talking about the ISIS.
We're not fighting ISIS.
I know. Well, we'll be bombing them.
Yeah, but we don't got ground troops there fighting house to house. We'll let the Russians do that.
And the Assad's men.
Assad's troops, the Kurds.
Assad's done the most, though.
Oh, the Kurds are doing pretty well.
Because the Assads just took Aleppo recently.
The Kurds, because the ISIS are terrified of the Kurds, because the Kurds are not taking prisoners. Neither are the Russians, to be honest. But you probably stand more chance with Assad's troops surrendering to them. But even then, I don't think you've got. Depends who takes your prisoner.
Assad personally takes prisoner.
Basically, if you're in ISIS fighting, you're best dressing up as a civilian and saying, "Oh, please, I want to emigrate to Britain and get a job."
Unless it's a Kurd.
Well, you just got to one of the Kurdish areas if you're a Kurd. Actually, if you're a Kurd, you're already dead. So, but that's besides the point. As for the Gatling gun game-wise, we've gone off on one again, haven't we?
Well, no, because we're discussing all about rifle and everything for them.
Yeah, well, so the Gatling gun had the firepower of about 30 men. On average. If you take into account the way the British soldiers fired, it's got a fire rate of about 30 men. That's pretty useful, especially as it's also quite concentrated, so you can really shoot into enemy thicknesses of enemy troops. So it is a very useful thing. Did brilliantly against the Mahdi. But other than that, that's really it. I did tell you the special rule about it, which you will know if you already do black powder. If you don't do black powder and you're planning on doing this, well, I've now told you what it does. I haven't used one yet. We haven't got around to using it yet. We did use them when we did the Battle of Khartoum, but that was before we started doing YouTube, and we didn't have much success with
Well,
them.
we're doing that while we're doing YouTube, but we're running our history part first.
Yeah, we were.
And then we released them videos and we started doing gaming.
Yeah. So they didn't do too well when we used them then. We'll see how well they do now. Oh, we've only got one so far, so...
Well, this time we aren't defending a city or town.
No, that's true.
Now actually fighting on it's like guerrilla warfare now.
Open ground, yeah. So, that's it. That's nothing else to add. Do you get any questions?
No.
The figure is from Empress Miniatures, but you can get it off of the Warlord Game website if you want to go there, or you get it as part of the box set. It's way cheaper getting it as part of the box set, because you get everything you need in the box set. And when I've got it all painted up and done, I will do a video on the entire box set painted up and done, which should be fun, and then we'll play some games. So I'm looking forward to that. Here is the card for it. That's the card. Slowly.
It's actually in focus right now.
That's the card. If you like, I will put the card on my Minds website. If you go along to minds.com, that's MINDS.
Did anyone go to your...
I don't know, I checked.
Wow.
I had time.
And his account is the same as his YouTube account.
Imperator Vespasian. Just look. Actually, it might be just Vespasian.
You did say it was Vespasian.
It's just Vespasian. Just type in Vespasian, you'll find me. Just sort of staring back at you. And that's it. That's everything. That's actually quite scary if you found like a picture of a face on it. Because you don't want to see
There's no pictures
on
the internet of you. Actually, I went on to Google Images and I typed in Vespasian. And you know that thumbnail when you're doing this?
Yeah.
It's all over the internet.
Is it? Is that? Oh, brilliant. That's great. Picture of me going, yeah.
Oh god.
Google doesn't like me. Right, so that is it. I will just actually finally mention that I do very much like the figures. The figures are very, very well posed. And they just about perfectly fit on this base. I did think I wasn't going to get it on, but I did. And I'm actually really impressed with it. And I love the way that guy's holding his hat there. I've got paint on my finger. That proves I've been working. That's the problem with our house. Everyone's got paint all over the nails. And yeah, I do like the figures. They're very nice. And that is all I'm going to say. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's run off. So thank you very much for watching. Do you want to do the outro?
I always do the outro. Yeah. Because you can't remember it.
No, do you want to do it now?
So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and comment down below what you think of the Gatling gun.
It's a brilliant weapon. Yeah. Goodbye.
That's everything from me.
And everything from him. Now we say goodbye.
See, I'm so bad.
Yeah. Goodbye.
See ya.